Hi, my name's Lindy and welcome to my channel. My website is www.lindycowling.co.uk, email info@lindycowling.co.uk, and the title of the first of two short videos that are just about to follow this evening is The Chaser as a Codependent. The chaser as a codependent. So what do I mean, first of all, by the chaser? If you are familiar with soul connections, twin flame union, twin flames, anything of that kind of nature, and you have seen articles, whether they are genuine or non-genuine or well-informed or very badly informed, either on the internet or elsewhere, you would have seen the term chaser. And for the purposes of the video, the definition of a chaser being someone that is relentlessly following, drawn to, pulled towards, attracted to, can almost be stalker-like in their actions, someone who is pursuing energetically, mentally, emotionally, physically another person that they feel is their connection, that they feel is their soulmate, they feel is their twin flame, they feel is their catalyst, they feel is connected to them. And the chaser, in inverted commas, is in pursuit of them, can't get them out of their mind, watches their stuff on media or social media relentlessly, perhaps keeps re-engaging contact with them, whether the other person actually wants that or not, or whether it's actually advisable or good for one or both of them to do that at that time. The chaser is in that category, the person that is doing the chasing. Now, if you ask me how often statistically are the chasers male, so this is working on the premise of a male-female connection, just for the example. So how often, working on that example of a male-female connection, is the chaser a male? I would estimate about 10%, which means the rest of the time, the bulk of the time, that's a worldwide global pattern. The chaser relentlessly, most of the time, seems to be the female. Before I go any further, well, I was going to go down a different route, but let's explain this bit first. Why do I feel, or why statistically? Well, it's not just why I feel that is the case. Statistically, that is the case, because I've seen the patterns globally as I work with a lot of countries across the world. Why is it mostly the female then that is running this codependent side of this chasing? It's an interesting question. I feel some of it is because of, it's that nature versus nurture argument, in that feminine energy or the female energy taps into a universal archetype or universal codependency program, universal relationship programming that encourages females to be validated through, seen through, their self-worth through who they are connected to, or in a relationship to, or married to, or in partnership with. And that is a lot stronger in the feminine population or feminine energies than it is masculine. You only have to look throughout history to see over and over again big archetypal energies, and not just archetypal energies, actually historical facts. that back up that the self-worth or the status of women has been historically linked to the man that she is connected with. So did she marry well? Did she marry into wealth? Did she marry someone that had a good status? And this whole thing of the old archetypal energy of the masculine energy providing for the feminine, and the feminine almost coming in under that umbrella, which means that the feminine energy is much more likely to get caught in that codependency programming loop of only being valid or worthwhile if they are with a partner, or according to the partner they're with, or the status of the partner they're with. Now, this makes me smile because this is a very interesting video, close to my heart, because I was massively codependent until the last 5, nearly 6 years. Massively codependent, and that is a program I am now free from, and a loop that I've been free from for quite a few years now. When I was still running that program, even though I had by then become single, it was still at that point very painful, and I still acutely felt through my own perception the way the public or people around me may perceive me as almost not worth as much, or something must be wrong with me not being in a current marriage or a current partnership or a current relationship. And I felt that acutely, really acutely, actually, for a good few years, even though all the friendships I have, the female friendships I have, bar one, are at the moment currently single and have actually been single for quite some time. So I was tapped into a very strong codependent program of only being able to see my worth or my validity through the eyes of another or through the eyes of others. So it was excruciatingly painful for me to finally ascend, shall we say, through that programming, ascending consciousness, that is, and transforming consciousness through that, through learning my own validity and self-worth and appreciate myself. You could call it self-love, all the same thing, over a period of time, and not needing it like my life depended on it through the eyes of another. And it certainly was as intense as my life feeling like it depended on it for a very long time, because I came through that programming very heavily of only feeling I had any worth through the eyes of others or through the eyes of another. So it was excruciating. So I know how excruciating those kind of programs are, and linking into those archetypes are. And just in, again, the country that I'm living in, you just have to look back at old movies where it wasn't that long ago, historically, that women had, in the relationship format, no worth whatsoever, just in the days gone by, unless their status was only validated through the person or the family they married into. I mean, just looking back at things like Pride and Prejudice and those big old costume dramas like that. I mean, it's amazing, really. And you see it all the way through history until really fairly recently. And of course, some countries, this certainly still does apply, but I'm talking about the country that I'm living in at the moment. So it's a combination of things, and the chaser, there is this almost misconception propagated on social media and in the media itself and on platforms such as YouTube, that the chaser is almost like hypnotized, and they don't have any control over relentlessly being pulled towards, or relentlessly chasing, or relentlessly pursuing, and sometimes stepping over the boundaries and relentlessly stalking someone that they have by this point felt very attracted to, very connected to, perhaps fallen in love to, in love with, perhaps have made life changes as a result of, have certainly had inner changes in their evolution as a result of, which leads on to outer changes as a result of. The reason I'm bringing this video out is because I certainly feel that the whole thing of chasing, a huge percentage of it, and I love talking in my percentages, as you know, as a way of explanation. In terms of a chaser, how much of that do I feel is codependency programming, linking into archetypal programming, the whole codependency and archetypal programming very heavily leaning towards the relationship templating. How much of that do I believe is all playing a part in what the chaser is? 90%. How much do I feel the other 10% is the pull towards someone that you are connected to on a soul level, perhaps on a consciousness level, perhaps in a soul family level, perhaps in an energetic dynamic level? In terms of the chaser, approximately 10%, which is vastly lower than what has been formerly the belief system has been propagated as being, like it's because of the magnetics and all the rest of it. Yes, in genuine bona fide connections, and remember, a percentage of those people that feel they are what they are not in a genuine bona fide connection, and it's something else. But in genuine bona fide connections, yes, of course, that dynamic and the energetics do apply, which is, well, everything is energy, but perhaps more so the energetics apply, shall we say. But 90% of what's going on is someone's own codependency issues, codependency programming, archetypal programming, societal programming that has been placed, let's say, around the evolutionary process from outside of us to really keep people deliberately, again, like I said on a few earlier YouTubes, a few videos back, in order to prevent people almost like breaking out of those loops and finding their authentic self and going fully into the heart. So on that note, I'll love you and leave you. I know it's only short and sweet. I'd want to keep it short because I want to go straight on and do another video, but I just thought I'd throw this one out there and into the hat because I feel very strongly that that is what is going on. Thanks as always for watching the channel, guys. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for supporting me as the channel in all the ways that you do, and I'll see you again shortly. Thank you. Bye.